Now, for people who aren't familiar with what the role is, because people hear the name, but they might not know, give us a general idea of some of, like, I'll say thematically, what are some of the rules and responsibilities and role of lieutenant governor? Let's just start there.
Yes, the lieutenant governor is the president of the Senate. You have, I like to, when I was speaking at a school yesterday, and I explained it to the students like this, I said, you have two groups of people. You have the House of Representatives and you have the Senate. And these two groups create the laws for the state of Georgia. And the Senate is really what they kind of call the upper chamber of the two. There are a lot less senators than representatives. And the lieutenant governor presides over the Senate. The lieutenant governor is the president of the Senate. The lieutenant governor will choose chairs for all of the committees in the Senate. And so the lieutenant governor has a lot of influence when it comes to creating laws in Georgia because the governor is putting all of the leadership within the Senate in place to lead when it comes to all of the laws and all the different committees on the Senate side
And
in the
I'm
Gold
glad,
Dome in the Atlanta Capitol.
okay, my apologies. And like I said, I'm glad you shared that because, again, people may hear the office, but don't know just, some of the roles that they actually play. Now, of
Yeah.
course, running for any office, another thing that people hear but might not be familiar with is the platform. The platform essentially is what are the issues? What is your stance? What work have you done? And things along those lines. Walk through with us of the different items that are part of your platform. What would you say are two, I'll say, introductory or key or things that are, hey, these are really critically important, not only to me, but based on, I'll say, your knowledge of working with the public. These are two key things that I really like to kind of get the ball rolling with.
Yes. So my campaign has a theme, and I created this theme so that the constituents and Georgians could remember what I represent when it comes to my campaign. And the theme is legacy. The theme of my campaign is legacy. It's time for Georgians to have a legacy. Many times it is I call myself a public servant, not a politician, but many times it's the politician that creates the legacy, but it's not the citizens of Georgia that create the legacy. And so now it's time to have someone like the lieutenant governor role who would have lots of influence in creating legacy for Georgians. And I start with land and property. So we have Georgians who work all their lives to pay off their homes and to pay off their land. Yet you still have property taxes. The property tax can ultimately cause a Georgian to lose their legacy. When I say lose their legacy, lose their land and lose their home. Because when you can pass that down to your children and grandchildren, you have created a legacy. And land is a big part of that. So, what I would like to do, and I would like to start with seniors, because when you um, choose to change things like, we're not going to do, this tax anymore, well, it has to be replaced with some funding. And I've seen some legislation go through where they talked about eliminating property taxes. However, usually the property tax money funds the different county governments in Georgia. So my thought process is let's start with the seniors. Let's start with the seniors. Let's make sure that the seniors in Georgia that own land and have worked and invested to make sure that they have something to pass down. Let's make sure that that is not taken away. through property taxes because they can't afford property taxes, or because the children or grandchildren that took over were not able to afford the property taxes. We should be able to keep our land and our properties, our homes, and our families forever, to create legacy, to create prosperity. Um, I don't want to continue to pass down poverty. I want to pass down prosperity in Georgia. And land is one of the ways that that can be done. The second thing is I want to move to education, and I want to move to our public schools. And I would like to put trades in our public schools. If we put trades in our public schools, if we put trades like in elevator tech or welding, or it could be something as simple as, you know, changing oil. If you leave high school with these skills, you can walk out and create a business right away because you were certified while you were in high school on the different trades. So I have lots of trades in my mind that I would like to implement in the public schools. The legacy in having a trade is you can pass a trade, you can pass a skill down to your children, your family members. You can pass the business that you're able to create from that trade and those skills down to your family members. When you receive a trade, when you're certified in a trade, you can now trade those skills for money. Trade those skills for money. Create legacy. Again, create prosperity. It's time for Georgians to have more than what I'm seeing out here. It's time for Georgians to prosper. It's time for Georgians to have the opportunity to rise up. And the last thing that I'll say is access. Legacy, opportunity, and access. Access is very important. Many times we vote for a politician, and after we vote for them, it's over. We don't hear from them anymore. We can't get a hold of them. And issues that we have or questions that we have are not answered. And so I want to create access for Georgians. So what I would like to do is to create citizen councils. So we will have regular citizens who are active in their communities, and we will create councils and make sure that when laws are being created, that the council, they get the opportunity to see those laws, have discussions about those laws, and bring that information back to me as lieutenant governor and to my team so that we can make sure that we are considering the voice of the people, of Georgians, before we vote for a law and before we move forward and saying, okay, this is complete, this bill is complete. The voices of Georgians need to be heard, not just at the voting polls. That has been a big thing here in Georgia, and I am in complete support of making sure that the systems, when it comes to voting, that they work properly. And I think that we need to put some more checks and balances when it comes to people coming in to vote. Something simple could be whenever a person comes in, we clock that number. We have a clocker. So if 25 people came in, what does that mean? There should be 25 votes at the end of the day. And so just some simple checks and balances could change a lot of things when it comes to voting. But your voices do not stop there with me. With me, your voices continue, and that will continue with the citizen councils that I will form. And that's just a few things.